Today, let's talk about meal prepping and how I have changed my meal prepping from when I was an athlete versus to how I am now or doing it now as a mom. When I was an athlete, I basically thought that there was only one way to do everything. What I have now learned is there are multiple ways to do a lot of different things. Now, why am I even talking about meal prepping? When I have spoken to members in the past or even right now, one of the things that people are struggling with is making sure that they're getting in the right food because they know what the right food is, but making sure that they have that prepped and ready to go throughout the day. Because basically, if it's not there for them, then they will eat whatever junk is there for them. So there is quite a few ways to go about meal prepping, and it really just matters how much time you have, what your goals are, and you can even mix and match. So before I even bring up any of this, the first thing that you have to do is you have to have a plan in place. This means that you are going to need to sit down one day out of the week to look through your schedule, see how busy is that week going to be, and then let that be the guide to how you are going to prep that week. Now, you might end up having a signature, like a routine. This is the way that I am going to do it. This is what works for me, and I'm going to continue doing this for the next 6 months and see what happens. But for me, I like a little bit more flexibility in my life. And that means if I have a busy week, I'm going to meal prep one way versus the next week, if I have more availability to just make food on the fly, then I won't necessarily prep it ahead of time, but I will know exactly what I am going to eat for dinner later on that day. And that is because I spend that time on the weekend to sit there and write down exactly what we are going to have for dinner. Maybe it's for breakfast and dinner, for sometimes it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks, and so on. But there is a plan in place. So if you want to learn more about planning, because this is something that I've been working on so much, time is precious to me and it should be precious to you. So it's been something that I've been working on. And if you want more tips on that, please let me know. But once you have your plan in place, you're also going to write out a grocery list. You either go to the grocery store and buy whatever you need to get, or if you're like me and you don't like going to the store because you have two crazy kids, then you're gonna Instacart or get your food delivered to you somehow. Once that is all done, now we are in the prepping phase. So there are a couple ways to go about this. Now, as an athlete, I was very much so, I'm spending all day in the gym. So I don't really have time to go home and prep things and cook because I'm not home. I just got to take things with me. And so if this is you, you might need to spend 1 to 2 days out of the week where you are prepping food in bulk. You're going to bulk prep all of your protein. So these are going to be foods like chicken, meat, some eggs, egg whites, those sorts of things. But you're going to prep all of that for the week or maybe for 3 days. If you're someone that has a little bit more of a open schedule, you don't like soggy food, days that are more than 3 days old, you might want to plan 2 prep days out of the week. So you're going to bulk prep that. You're going to buy a bunch of chicken, you're going to buy some ground beef, you're going to buy some whatever. I would say 2 to 3 sources. You're going to bake all of that at one time. You're going to put half of that on the grill. You're going to put half of that in an air fryer. Then you're also going to figure out what kind of carbs are you going to have? Are you going to have potatoes? Are you going to have rice? And you're going to bulk prep that. You're going to figure out what veggies, you're going to figure out what fats you're going to use. Most likely it's going to be oils. Maybe you do a handful of nuts here and there. So basically everything is already prepped and done beforehand. From here, you now have 2 options. Either you can just store all your protein together in a container and put it in your refrigerator, or if you really need to grab and go because you're super busy, you are going to lay out 6 freaking Tupperwares on your counter and you're gonna get your protein. You're gonna, boom, put it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're gonna separate that all out, slap it in your refrigerator, and then when the day comes, you're gonna grab, stuff that in your bag, and you're ready to go. So this option, like I said, is for someone who is really busy, but you have that 1 or 2 days out of the week where you know that you can dedicate a couple of hours to just putting that all together. Now, if you are someone who likes variety or you don't like soggy leftover foods, because I know there are people out there like that. My fiance is one of them. I'm not, but my fiance is one of them. Then this might not be the best option for you. Now, let's talk about option number 2, where I am at. I am working on prepping or having a plan for lunches and for breakfast. There are some days where I just figure out what I'm going to do, or I just prep in bulk what I'm going to do for lunch. So for me, this typically looks like some sort of salad. If I'm really busy, it's just a Costco salad. If I have time, the better option is to make a salad myself with my own dressing. It's dense bean salad and then having some sort of protein. Once again, if I'm really busy that week, I'll go for a rotisserie chicken. If I have time to prep it, then I will prep it myself, because it's always better when you just do it yourself. You know exactly what you put into it then. So I will have lunch figured out for the week and that will be bulk prepped, but breakfast and dinner are made on the spot because I am at home at that time. On the weekend, I'm going to write down what we are going to be primarily having for breakfast. Sometimes that's Kodiak cakes. Sometimes that is some yogurt for the girls, or in my case, I really like omelets. And sometimes the girls like omelets. Some days they do, some days they don't. But I will prep that just in the morning as we go. And then I will also do that same thing for dinner time. So there's only one meal that's really being bulk prepped. However, I do have a plan set out for breakfast and for dinners every single day before the week even begins. So if you're someone like me that is home a little bit more often, this might be the better option for you instead of bulk prepping everything. Now, the next thing that a lot of people like to do is prep or cut whatever ingredients they are going to be using ahead of time. So if you are buying something like berries and you're going to be using the berries to just grab and go throughout the week, as soon as you get that from the grocery store, you're going to wash, prep, and then store that away. And you can even do that once again in different containers. If you buy something bulk from Costco, meat-wise, maybe that is you measuring out 4 ounces of whatever meat you're having and putting them into different packets so that when you are going to prep your food or eat your food, you can just grab that one serving and go. Now, once again, I believe that most of the work is done before the meal prepping phase. It's the planning phase that really makes the difference. So if you need help a little bit more with the planning phase, please let me know and I would love to help you guys. But once you have that plan down, it's much easier to know which option you are going to use and how much you're going to need to prep. Now, if you are someone who just doesn't know what to prep at all because you're like, I don't know what foods I should include in my meals, that's another great question. Please let me know, and I would love to make a little bit more information for you. Anyways, I hope that this helps someone out. Please let me know if you guys have any questions and have fun meal prepping.